Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to today's Pick a Card reading. Today we are looking at your effect on the person on your mind, and we have three groups to choose from. You can choose as many or as few as you feel called to. There will also be an extended reading, and they have been quite interesting, so just saying. No, you do you. I don't want to influence you. Only watch readings you feel called to, drawn to. So yeah, and personal readings are also available. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, just follow the link down below and that will take you where you need to go. And with that said, I will leave you to focus on which deck calls to you the most, and feel free to pause the video if you need a little bit more time. Take as much time as you need, and I will see you soon at your reading. Hello, my beautiful pile ones, and welcome to your reading. Today we are looking at the effect you have on the person on your mind in the main reading, and there will also be an extended where we will get tons of channeled messages, look at this person's intentions, what they really want from this connection, and we will look at their actual actions and try to get a time frame and get a message for you from the universe slash spirit slash your higher self. I'm just getting this out of the way already because I tend to forget to bring it up later on and then I don't like doing it in the middle of a reading necessarily, so we're doing it now. But you can also find a recap of that down below at the link that I will put there. So we will first start with a little energy check so that you can decide if this situation sounds like yours. You are not the first pile I am filming. I'm filming today out of order, so there may be some connections between the piles. I leave that part up to you. Trust your intuition on that. So let's see what we have. Starting off, we have the Lover. We have the Hummingbird. Something that is never truly yours. We have Air. Loneliness. I know that I am never alone. Out of bounds moon. Boundaries. We have Virgo. I analyze. And we have Sacred Journey. I think this is going to be a person that you don't just communicate with by speaking literally or texting necessarily. I think this is a connection that runs deeper than that, and this will be someone that you feel very drawn to very intensely, and possibly without so much of an explanation or a good understanding of the reason why you may feel so drawn to this person. For a lot of you, this may be a situation that never quite really took off, a situation that has seemed promising, that has maybe been something where you felt you're getting a lot of intuitive hints about, a lot of synchronicities about, and this could be a mirrored energy as well. But there is a sense that both you and this person have looked the opposite way, or you've had to, at least in terms of what was perceivable by, I'm hearing the general public, so I don't know if like you have a platform or like you do business with this person, or maybe you're co-workers or you study with this person, something along those lines, or you could be artists. It's just a sense that the observable situation has not been truly and honestly and fully reflective of what you would have felt with this person, and vice versa. Because this seems very spiritual, it seems very deep, it seems very intense, and there is a sense of distance between the two of you, so I would say this could be someone that you interact with online or just on social media. It could be someone that you just have had like acquaintance type conversations with, or just more official, like business like conversations with. There is a sense of boundary here. And we have the literal boundaries card, but beyond that, there is a sense of like a lot of independence from the connection, and more so mainly independence and not so much working together, mainly independence and not so much currently connecting on a tangible level. Even though this connection is felt, even though this connection has most likely awakened this person and maybe you as well to a deeper sense of spirituality. And when I say spirituality, I am mainly referring to our relationship with our own existence. I think you have already going into your effect. I think you have had a part in pulling this person into their spirituality, or making this person more curious, making this person more interested because they feel something beyond the practical, beyond the logical, beyond what really makes sense to their mind, but something that still makes sense to their heart, or wherever they feel their intuition. For me, it's often kind of like the chest area. And they may not call it intuition. They may not call it spirituality. They may call it something else or nothing at all. But the label here is not what matters. It's not at all important in comparison to, I feel, the awakening this situation has caused in both of you, but at different levels. I think this is going to be someone, for a lot of you, that is very intelligent, someone very, like, it could be someone that is in somewhat of a leadership position as well, someone well-read, well-educated, well-traveled potentially as well, with this all like flighty energy, but someone also very avoidant. Someone avoidant typically of things that run very emotional, that run very not logical. And emotions are not logical, so I feel like this is not their strength. But they seem to feel something that they don't quite understand and that they can't quite label towards you. And this will be a situation with a lot of boundaries in terms of the limitations. Certain rules are coming through. Maybe these are workplace rules, like you can't date a coworker, or it could be that one of you is committed elsewhere, or both of you are committed elsewhere, but not really happy. There is a sense of just maybe being in a stale situation for both of you, and then crossing paths and feeling excitement, feeling some sort of renewal, feeling like your heart is beating faster and there is suddenly more color around you. I think this person has started feeling this sense of passion, this sense of intensity to all of their experiences that they otherwise were not feeling. It smells like old books here. And my room typically doesn't smell like old books. My books are, most of them are not very old. Some of them have been passed down to me by my mom and my grandparents. But yeah, old books. Maybe a library could be significant. Maybe a book passed down from your mom or someone's, I don't know, because I'm just now looking at a book that my mom gave me that she really wanted me to read, so that could be relevant, but it's just a side note. There is something very intelligently expressive about this person. Like, they are good with words, just not emotional words. And maybe it's not so much that they're not good with emotional words, it's that I think they're not very well versed in their own emotions, and they could even be someone that can explain other people's emotions. I can understand that really well. But when it comes to their own self and this situation in particular, I think this person does not understand. They just don't, because it has happened either too suddenly, too unexpectedly, too randomly. This person could be like into statistics, statistics professor, something along those lines as well. Or a doctor with Virgo energy, some kind of healer aspect to their energy also exists. And they seem to have their very own, very special way of doing things. Like something that feels a little bit out of the average, a little bit less commonplace, maybe compared to other people you have met or other people in their field of work or hobby. But for a lot of you, I think you are not in a relationship with this person, because there is this sense of boundary, this sense of holding back for one reason or another, maybe because of mental limitations, maybe because of physical limitations or other commitments, which could also be someone's career or someone's sense of responsibility to their culture, and you're from a different culture, so they're kind of holding back. It feels like you are looking away from each other, but that doesn't mean you're not feeling each other. It's almost like you are magnetically pulling each other in. And especially, I pulled this card to represent, I'm not sure anymore, actually. I pulled it to represent, I thought, this person's energy, but I realize now I actually pulled it to represent yours. But in this case, I think it represents this person's energy, and maybe that's why my brain kind of lagged for a second. Because they are, like, they move around in their own world a lot. But they always seem to follow the same patterns, the same rules in some way. But they're still active. They're not really in place. It's not that they haven't really progressed their life. It's not that they haven't done anything for themselves. I think they have taken a lot of responsibility for themselves and in their own life. But when it comes to emotionality, they seem to push that away. When it comes to all the different range of emotions that they may feel, they seem to push that away. And I think your effect on this person inherently has been that you are ever present. That means their emotions are ever present. And so it's this new experience of a connection where they don't really understand it, where they may not have actively chosen to be in this situation. It's almost like their connections or their relationships typically tend to be very logical, very much like expected. Like, if someone would guess what type of person this person would end up with, that is maybe the person exactly that they have ended up with so far. Or some idea that resembles that. But it's like you're from different worlds. That's what it feels like. So maybe you live in entirely different places. Maybe it's very, very long distance. Maybe like this person is a family person and you are a traveler, or vice versa. Something unusual. There could also be a big age gap between the two of you. Or a big difference in like progress, in the sense that you may be very advanced in your career and this person could have recently been like, I'm gonna switch my field entirely. But more so, I'm getting it vice versa, that this person would likely still be like in the same realm that they have been in, that they have focused on, but you may be someone that is kind of more flexible or more inspired in that way currently. But I do feel this is a situation where without physical, tangible change in your environment, it maybe seems like a bit difficult to put it together. Like it would take sacrifice, it would take some sort of big shift, big sense of maybe loss, even loss of comfort, loss of what is usual, what has been done so far, pulling out of a routine. Even if you have not been with this person officially, or even if like you haven't really fully had an in-depth conversation with this person, because I could see that being a possibility as well. It seems like there are a lot of unknowns and unspoken things here. So some of you could have barely talked to this person on a deeper level. But it's like, it's almost a sense of like risk, danger, what they know so far shifting, and you have made this person more curious to look outside of the world they already know. And that is actually quite a big impact, because it's like this person breaking free of maybe in some ways that they have chained themselves. And I don't think this is a done deal. I don't think this person has like completed this process. For some of you, they may have not even dipped into it yet. For some of you, and I think this is going to be a bit more specific, if this is someone from the past that you are no longer sharing an environment with, or a situation that just didn't grow into what you may have expected or wanted it to, that you've had to let go of, I think this person, you have shown this person that they can want something so much, feel so drawn to something, but if they are not in a place to receive it, if they are not open to it, if they are not putting effort into it, if they are not showing up, that thing they want is not just going to happen for them. And I feel like the reason this maybe kind of obvious realization is coming through is that this is someone with a lot of sense of responsibility, and I feel like they have often wanted things that are very logical for them, that make sense for them. So these things have been relatively straightforward to achieve, even if like it has taken a lot of effort, it has taken a lot of time, maybe to get a particular degree, or to move to a particular place, or to make a certain amount of money, to buy a house in a certain place. So these things they have figured out, but or like if they are much younger, I think these things may be things that they could figure out, but or like they are on the road to figuring it out. But I feel like you've shown this person sometimes they have to let go, because I think they get what they want. Like this is that kind of person. They get what they want because they, in their, like they would describe themselves of wanting things that make sense to them or that are realistic to them, regardless of the type of person they are, because they seem very vibrant in personality, but I think they are someone that is maybe judged quickly by other people as something that they are maybe not actually, as like someone they don't actually feel like they are, but there's still this sense of being perceived in a particular way and not entirely correctly by the people around them. I also get a very much a traveler type of energy from this person. Like they are adventurous, they stick to their rules, but their rules still mean they can have adventures. Hearing the word naughty, I don't know. Okay, let's get into the tarot. and get a better idea of the impact you have had on this person. I feel like it's a little bit maybe almost philosophical and quite spiritual, this energy. So it's a bit more difficult to like exactly pin it down. Don't know what's going on outside, but something, I think they're moving something big. Like there is construction not too far away going on, I think. And I feel like it's also that there is a sense of having to maybe move big parts of your lives if this connection would be to happen in a tangible way or more tangible way. So for my pile ones, please, for my pile ones, how are they affecting this person? We have the Fool. Yeah, a risk, like this adventure energy is also coming through with the Fool. Aries energy could be significant, and especially the month of April is coming through. If you're watching this at the time I'm filming it, which you don't have to be, it is a timeless reading, but it's March now, so almost Aries season and almost April. We have the High Priestess. I think someone's name is April, or like this message is going to be maybe particularly significant for an April. Knight of Swords in reverse. I feel like this really embodies the essence of this connection. Too many things that are maybe not said or misunderstood or kind of guessed and assumed between the two of you. But this sense of inner knowing, this sense of adventure that pulls the two of you together. And it feels like not necessarily a physical adventure. It could be, but it's more so emotional and mental and existential. Something runs very deep about this connection, and this person feels it, and that is the effect you have on them. It's kind of intoxicating. It throws them off balance. It's confusing, but it's exciting. It's thrilling. Yeah, it's kind of like pulling them in, but it's likely that they are resisting or have some form of resistance because of the judgments that they have about the life they live, their circumstances, the life that is meant for them. Aquarius and Scorpio energies could be significant, as well as Cancer with the High Priestess. Can we clarify the Fool, please? Can we clarify the Fool? How is pile one? We have the Hanged Man in reverse, changing their world, changing their perspective. Like, I feel like this is someone who maybe thought, oh, I know enough. I know all I need to know. I have enough figured out. I know what my life is going to look like from now on. I have that settled. And you have turned that around. You have turned that upside down and shown this person that there is more potential, more possibility, more adventure, and more questions to ask, more to discover. There's something inherently very enticing about this situation, about this connection. Can we clarify the High Priestess? We have the Nine of Wands in reverse. You are bringing to their attention healing that they didn't know was kind of pending. Brought wounds to the surface just with your presence, brought fears to the surface just with your presence, not because you are scary, but this connection, the fact that it is unknown, The fact that it promises things that are exciting for this person, but entirely out of their ordinary, that is what intimidates them. But it also entices them, seduces them. Like, it's that kind of energy. It's very sweet. It's sticky like honey. But what it gives is an opportunity, not a promise. So there is that aspect of risk that this person feels, but it's almost also like they're excited at the thought of that, at the thought of change. Maybe they have this idea of what their life is with this Emperor energy. But a part of them, a more intuitive part of them, wants that to be rewritten. Wants their life to change. It's change that they have avoided so far. Change that they didn't think they needed, but it is growth. It is a growth in perception. It is a growth in understanding, and that brings growth in their own relationship with their own self. And just this line of questioning, just this energy of not knowing. And I just realized when I was saying just this, I said justice. So Libra energy could be significant as well. But there is a sense of like this feeling right. Practically maybe wrong or difficult, but emotionally right. I just saw Temperance. And the Three of Cups behind that. So for some of you, this could be a third-party situation. If that is the case, you would already know about it. So please don't be alarmed if that is not what's going on in your situation. Also, we have more Aries energy with the Emperor. I'm suddenly thinking of goats. Well, the devil could be significant. But more than that, it made me think of Severance, the TV show. Some of you might know it. And that also is like based kind of like on a work setting. A lot of it happens at work. It's a really good show. But I would recommend you check it out. Just like outside, unrelated to this reading as well. But yeah, maybe workplace connection or something about their work, the line of work that they are doing versus could be doing, new opportunity. I feel like a lot is shifting energetically in this situation currently. But predominantly energetically. Like, you would maybe not be seeing a change in the dynamic or how you interact lately. The Three of Swords, bringing pain to the surface. This connection seems to have revealed certain wounds this person has had, certain self-limiting beliefs that they have had, that they still have, that they have maybe kept there and allowed these to kind of like harden around them like a wall, creating this sense of safety, but it is an illusion because it is, at this point, it's almost like it has felt more like a cage, more like it is a suffocating thing. I think this person is quite confused. I think you have affected them in a way where they are just now confused as to what they want to do, what they should do, why they feel the way they do. What is this deep sense of questioning that they feel about their own life path? Quite an interesting person, I must say. We have the moon in reverse as well, which I just saw a bunch of times while I was shuffling. A lot of watery energy, and I feel like watery energy is not this person's strength. It's not where they feel very powerful. Yeah, bottom deck energy is a Two of Cups in reverse. We have the Three of Wands. There is something about enriching their like world of fantasy, whereas maybe they are very much adventuring in reality. Now they are interested in adventuring on a different dimension. And maybe this connection for a lot of you has felt safer at a distance, because then it is preserved, then nothing can go wrong, because there is no opportunity to mess it up if you don't take the opportunity at all. So maybe you've both kind of kept each other at an arm's length, or this person has kept you at an arm's length. We have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. This connection and how it materializes and whether it materializes seems to have a lot to do with this person's life story and their life path. Like, it is, nothing would be the same if this connection was pursued, or if this connection is being pursued right now. Things, I think, already would be changing for this person. So there is this kind of awareness of that. There is like the inevitable aftermath, the inevitable result of this connection moving forward seems to be letting go of old judgments, old beliefs, but also old situations, outdated situations that maybe this person has been wanting to grow out of or leave behind. The World in reverse, which I'm not going to show you because I'm going to have to censor it, and the Page of Wands, which I'm also going to have to censor because of YouTube rules, not because of me. But yeah, all this censoring, like suddenly the appearance of cards that I would have to censor, and the fact that there is none here that I've had to censor. I feel like there's a lot unsaid here, and a lot this person is not figured out for themselves, and maybe you haven't either. But you have your presence, like, it's made them more open to synchronicities, but I think it scares them too. And by saying, like, I think it's made them open to synchronicities, I mean more so that maybe they're seeing signs about you, signs about this connection, your name, a song that you recommended them keeps playing on the radio, or something along those lines. But I think they don't fully understand. They can't really make sense of this yet. So I think this is now where I will take it to the extended. If you are meeting me there, I will see you there in a second. If not, that is perfectly okay, and I hope this reading was helpful. I am sending you tons of love. Take care, and bye. Hello, my beautiful pile twos, and welcome to your reading. Today we're looking at the effect you have on the person on your mind. There will also be an extended, which I will talk about later on. And before I get into the energy, well, I was already kind of feeling the energy a little bit. The cards were flying around, so I think this is quite a potent connection, potent energy that's going to be coming through. Besides that, the letter B could be significant, because I kept calling you pile B. Even though I am also filming your pile first. So you're actually the first pile I'm filming, but still pile 2. That's what felt intuitively right to me, so make of that what you will. Sometimes there are connections between piles. You know better than me what's going on in that sense, so I will leave that part up to you. And another thing I wanted to say is that the name Maya, the month of May, or a combination of these could be significant to you or this person or the connection, because that was also coming through. So with all of that out of the way, let's get into the oracles first. to get kind of an idea about whether this is your situation, whether this makes sense to you. And if not, feel free to check out another pile or another reading altogether if you didn't feel drawn to any other pile. But yeah, let's see what we have. Starting off, we have the Medallion. We have the Lamb. We have Repopulation. We have Saturn. We have Success. I know that there is no greater goal than to love. The letter S could also be significant. You could have double initials. They could have double initials. We have shadow work coming through. SSS. Scorpio, I transform. That is the fourth S that we have. And we have Strength. I didn't even notice this before, but look at that. Okay, S could be significant. Doesn't have to be, obviously. But Capricorn energy is also coming through. Capricorn or Scorpio energy or season could also be significant to your situation. I think this is, for a lot of you, someone that you have been through a lot with, and that is why the energy that is coming through is so potent. It doesn't matter how much you've been through with this person physically. It doesn't matter what the label of this connection was, has been, is, because this connection for both of you has run very deep. And I get the sense for a lot of you, maybe this is a connection where there were multiple endings and multiple beginnings over and over again, if not in an official sense, maybe just in your mind, just in your energy. It's a bit of an energy of, I didn't ever want to give up on this, but I have had to. I wouldn't have left if I really didn't have to. I wouldn't have turned away from this connection if the circumstances didn't force me to. So I feel for a lot of you, this is going to be someone that you are currently maybe taking a bit of space from. I do get a bit of a separation energy from this. I think this separation would have felt quite heavy, quite difficult. Something that you feel you've had to be very strong for. And I feel for a lot of you, this connection and the energies of it, a lot of it has maybe felt like this is something that you have to be strong for, because there's always something new swung in your direction, something new that is uncovered, either about this person, like about their psyche, about their emotions towards you and this connection, whatever those may have been. Because there is something very hard to pin down about this situation, in the sense that I feel for a lot of you, you may have not even been officially with this person. Not that that's what matters the most, but there is a sense of having been put through trials through this situation, having had to take a look at yourself, this person having had an opportunity to take a look at themselves as well, to see what it is that's beneath the surface, what it is that keeps them stuck, what it is that holds them back from experiencing life in a way where they are fully authentic to themselves. And what I mean by that is, I think this is someone that is coming through very wounded, and someone who maybe feels helpless around these wounds. That is probably not going to be how they project this energy outwards, because I think this is someone that wants to come through strong, that wants to make a good impression, that wants to appear stronger than they feel, because this matters to this person. They may care a lot about appearances, because I think this is something they learned, either observed in their family, or they were maybe just directly told, like, this is the role you have, this is how you have to be. But I feel like from a very young age, this person has maybe had to grow up fast and grow up alone. There is this sense of lack that is coming through. Almost like this person somehow learned that it's not worth connecting with their own self. It's not worth it to build a connection with themselves. Maybe it's kind of is making me think of paternal energies. There could be some kind of paternal wound. They could have a bad relationship with a paternal figure. It doesn't have to be their father necessarily, but just someone that would fall into that category, that type of energy. It seems like this person has maybe not had very healthy examples of relationships, of connections. Rather than that, they've had to focus on other things, potentially more material things, or more shallow things, because that feels easier. And that seems to feel more urgent to this person than dealing with what is going on within them. I think this is someone with a lot of chaos within, and I think this is someone who doesn't know how to deal with that, and I think that's where you came in, because you seem to have been a mirror to this person, offering them an opportunity to explore themselves, who they are, what they want, how they really feel, what really hurts. You've offered them an opportunity to dive deep, but I feel like they haven't really taken it, or maybe they tried, but it felt too scary, it felt too difficult. I feel like there have been potentially a lot of miscommunications here, or moments where this person felt it was difficult to tell you the full truth about how they feel, what their intentions are. Because I think this person finds it difficult to be honest with their own self. I think this will especially be the case if they have felt judged for who they are, or they've been somehow taught that who they are is wrong. But there is no such clear distinction between like being a right or wrong or good or bad. And I feel like this person is coming through as someone with very strict boundaries of what is good and what is bad, what they can and can't do, very rigid boundaries around that, a very rigid idea of what their life is supposed to look like, what other people are supposed to perceive them as. This could have to do with societal roles, could have to do with cultural beliefs that they grew up around, their familial beliefs. But I do feel there is a sense of growing up without feeling supported, loved, cared for, and taking this energy on, internalizing it as an example of how to treat themselves. And I think this hurt within this person has made them unavailable to this connection, to the type of connection that you may have been seeking from them. And I think for both of you, this connection has brought the opportunity to grow, to evolve, to move past self-limiting beliefs, patterns, self-sabotage, to bring opportunities of open and honest and vulnerable connection. I think even in your absence, this person is affected by your energy. And now I'm realizing I'm saying in your absence, so maybe for a lot of you, this is already in the past and no longer someone that you interact with. Your energy still influences this person. They may have like a Venus, Scorpio Venus that is also coming through. You've taught this person to some extent, because you can't really force someone to see something or learn something or understand something, but I think you have tried your very best to show this person that you will accept them if only they are willing to be authentic with you, be real with you. Because of course you don't have to give up your own boundaries and make yourself uncomfortable, bend so far you might break for someone else just to make them comfortable. I feel like maybe you've allowed this person to get away with something to some extent, or get away with some kind of behavior that maybe you weren't entirely okay with, because you wanted to be kind to them, you wanted to show them you understand, that you will try to work with them, that you will try to help them, be there for them. And I think this person has loved that energy, that you have been so giving, so nurturing. You have influenced this person and shown them that they can grow, that they can change. But just because you have shown this to them, I feel for some of you has not meant that this person has followed that path or followed that example or felt brave or strong enough to experience that kind of change. Because inherently this person is afraid of change. It feels like they've been taught one thing, one way of being. You're only a good person if you do this, or you're only a good example of this societal role if you do this. There could be something about like questioning who they are, because that doesn't really match this idea that they have been given, that they have been taught. There is a sense of not belonging. There is a sense of this person feeling alienated. And I think the biggest impact you have had on this person is that you have given them space to be themselves. I get the sense that you will have likely seen this person's flaws too. But I think you have tried your very best to make this person feel safe. Even if at times that has meant you have not felt fully safe in this situation. You've been a light to this person, a motivation, encouragement to break out of this box that they have been in. And that seems like it's a box that they've been in for a very long time. And I think that has felt safe to this person because it's familiar. It's what they know. It's what they've been taught. So it's what they stick to, because change can feel scary, because change is unknown. It's uncertain. And I think this person has a lot of fears around that, fears around change, a belief that they are not strong enough or they're not good enough. I think this is someone who is very harsh on themselves, and maybe this also projects outwards in a way where they push people away because they don't really want to be seen, because they have all of these negative beliefs about their own self, regardless of what the truth may be and how they're actually showing up and how they're actually acting. And I think those beliefs have made this person push you and this connection away. Patterns that they were repeating. And And I feel like you've had such a strong impact on this person, in the sense that I think you, even if it was briefly, showed them a glimpse of an authentic connection and what that could be like. But for a lot of you, I feel like this person has felt too scared to show up in that way. They may have gotten in their head. They may have ghosted you for some of you. They may have done something that has felt very heavy for you, that has felt very overwhelming. I feel for a lot of you, this connection itself would have felt very overwhelming. Something maybe that happened a long time ago, but it still comes up every now and then. I think this person still has this opportunity to take a real look at themselves, to see themselves for who they are, to accept parts of themselves that they have not really felt like they should or they can. There is a sense of shame and guilt coming through as well from this person. And I think this has a lot to do with their own self. It's like they want to be perceived a certain way because they think that is the right way to be perceived. They want to be accepted, but I feel like they actually feel very alienated. So they try not to by being accepted, by getting external validation for who they are, but who they show themselves to be does not really align with what is going on within them. Like maybe they are taught to be very stoic, but they actually are a very emotional person who feels like they have to push their feelings away. Or maybe it has to do with sexuality, that they've been taught they need to be a certain way, but that's not how they feel. I feel like there is just a lot of questioning in this person, and your connection has been something that has put them in this energy of questioning as well. How far they have gone with that questioning and the conclusions they have come to will be different depending on your situation. I almost said dipping. For some of you, you may feel like this person like promised you something and then they just dipped out, or you were offering them this like deep dive into who they are, into their feelings, but they only dipped their toes in it and then got scared and ran. That's kind of what it feels like. And this strength energy, I think it shows that there is potential, there has been potential in this person, but it has been something that is buried deep, because this image to me, it feels very like distant somehow in energy to this person. It's not that it's not there, it's just that they haven't gotten to this level or felt this level for a lot of you, because they are disconnected from their own self. I want to get into the tarot now, and we will focus more on the effect you currently have on this person, or the effect that you have had. And while I am doing this, because I tend to forget if I don't talk about it at some point in the middle of the reading, I will tell you about what we're looking at in the extended that is linked down below. Should have done this in the beginning actually, but anyway, we will look at what they want to happen between the two of you, what they truly want, and we will then compare that to the actual step they will actually take towards you, what they will actually do, their actions, and we will try to get a timeline of it, but we will see how that goes. We will also get tons of channeled messages from this person to get an idea of where they may be right now, and we will also get a message for you from your higher self slash spirit slash the universe, whatever you feel comfortable calling it. So if you're interested, the link will be down below. Let's see, what effect do my pile twos have on this person that is coming through? We have the Knight of Swords in reverse. You have in some ways eased this person's pain, but I feel like that has been a temporary energy because they have still had this fear of facing themselves and really facing their fears. So it's almost like you were this barrier between their fears and them. So they felt like their fears couldn't get them anymore. I think you made them feel protected and safe and seen. But it almost is like once they feel you see too much of them, and I think this is on a very like subconscious level, I think that brought a sense of fear and anxiety to this person. We have the Five of Pentacles in reverse. This is warmth. You have made this person feel warmth and acceptance that I don't think they have received from a lot of people in their life or ever, because I think with a lot of people in their life they feel like they have to keep up appearances, and I feel like with you they felt that they could put their walls down, but to some extent. I feel like for a lot of you, maybe it hasn't really gone all the way with this person because, well, it takes courage and it takes effort to like be vulnerable. It's not easy being vulnerable, especially because, especially in this case, I feel it's because this person saw that as like already a disaster, their real self. We have the Seven of Wands. More than anything, I feel like this person is fighting the demons in their own head, always in a battle, always tired, and maybe they tend to like lash out, or they have tended to lash out. And this is not to justify or excuse, combine those words. This is not to justify any of their behavior or to excuse it if they have hurt you. And this is not to invalidate how you may feel about this situation too. I feel like this has been a complicated connection, a heavy connection for both of you, where you may have felt very tangled up in this person and their energy. It almost feels like the main focus would have been this person and their energy, and maybe you felt like it was better to put your feelings aside for some time, but it feels like that dynamic would have thrown itself out of orbit, almost like out of balance. Oh, I'm gonna have to censor this for YouTube reasons. We have the World in reverse. We have the King of Pentacles sideways. I will put it upright, but let's keep that in mind. And with that fell the Five of Cups in reverse and the Eight of Pentacles. There is a sense that you gave this person a glimpse of what it would be like if they could make peace with themselves. I think you, for a lot of you, would have led by example as well. Like that You've been working on yourself, on your path, on stability, security, building something for yourself would have been something that inspires this person to do the same. Again, I think this would be on a very subconscious level where they wouldn't maybe be able to talk about it or put it into words necessarily. Overall, I feel like this is someone who may not express themselves very easily. But I feel like you've had to fill in a lot of gaps yourself about this person because you can empathize very easily. So you have made this person feel understood to some extent, but I think the issue was that they only could allow themselves to be seen to a certain extent, because further than that, they also probably don't see or don't want to see, don't want to accept. So they would only expect other people to treat them the same way, to not want to see that, or if they did, they would judge them for it, or there was even a sense of like being punished. I don't know what kind of past this person may have. Like their inner child is still hurting. But you have, even if briefly, motivated this person to not give up on themselves and their relationship with their own self and the situations they allow themselves to be in. Because I feel like they have not been someone that ends up in situations that feel ideal to them, that feel really good to them. I think they tend to push those away because they think they're not meant for that, or they think it will go wrong anyway because they're not good enough, or because they're not strong enough, or because they can't do the right thing. I feel like they have a lot of negative self-talk in their head. We have the moon. I think they have felt in some ways deeply understood and deeply seen by you. Still guarded, but allowing some emotions to seep through that guardedness. And I think maybe this has been easy for you to see, but also easy to doubt, because this person maybe wasn't really backing that up with their actions or what they were saying. So for a lot of you, I think this will have felt very intense, but would have also raised a lot of questions. With moon coming out, Cancer or Pisces energy could also be significant. The world I associate with Capricorn energy personally, however, Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, or Leo traditionally would be what is coming through. But take that as it resonates. Can we clarify the Five of Pentacles in reverse, please? We have the Ace of Swords. You have, there's almost a sense of like authority coming from you, that they felt like they should listen to you, because you were offering them an opportunity to cut through this sense of alienation. You were offering them an opportunity to change, to grow, to feel more fulfilled, but you can't force that on someone else, in the sense that it's kind of like, and I've talked about this, like given this example before in some readings on the channel before, but it's as if like you would be doing their homework for them because you want to help them. You want to help them do the work. You want to help them understand. You want to help them like do better. But then if they don't do it themselves and they don't want to, and they never look at that again, they never read through it, or they never study themselves, they're not going to pass the exam. And this is not to say, of course, that this is a test or this is an exam, but I feel it's more so that maybe you have wanted this person to want more for themselves, or to see themselves the way you could see them, the way you could see through their walls. But if they are not ready for that, if they are not choosing that themselves, it is not your responsibility to do the work for them or to force them to do the work. Because you can't really, you can say all you want. You can try to make this person read and learn what they need to, whatever that may be, but they can close their eyes or they can just not listen. So there is also a component of personal will that I think for a lot of you so far, especially in the past of this connection, this person has felt very resistant towards. And that's not your fault. Can we clarify the Nine of Swords in reverse? We have the King of Wands. You've made this person feel validated. I think you have given them a sense of confidence because they seem to have been aware that you care for them or you want to be there for them. I think they may have found that a bit hard to believe, or thought if pile 2 actually knew who I am, they wouldn't feel this way. So there's also this sense of like restlessness of being found out for who they are, because it's not who they want to be seen as. And I don't even know if who they think they are is who they really are, or there is just also a component of negative self-talk in there, of criticizing themselves very harshly. For some of you, there will be something in particular this person really blames themselves about from their past, something they feel very guilty, disappointed, ashamed about, somewhere where they feel they've failed. Again, this could be a role that they think they can't really fill. Yeah, 10 of Swords in reverse. We have the 7 of Swords as well. They run and they think they're helping themselves, but they're actually hurting themselves, because always running is exhausting. And I feel like this person has been running in circles, and maybe you can also feel this to some extent, especially if you're in contact with this person. But for a lot of you, I feel like you would get information about them through like a third party almost, which could be social media, mutual friend, tarot, intuition, meditation, dreams, whatever it may be in your particular case. I feel like the physical aspect of this connection for a lot of you is severed, or it's not fully there at the very least. It feels like there is a lot that has been left unsaid. And I think you are still impacting this person in the sense that you have introduced a new type of energy into their life. And I feel for a lot of you, they have not been in that place to fully embrace that, fully accept that. But you have shown them a glimpse of what it could be like if they would let their walls down. It's like you went into their house. They let you in, maybe not all the way in, but you already had a good idea of like what maybe the rest looks like, how they decorated the rest of their house, even though you only walked into the hallway or the living room. And it feels like you turned the light on because they've been sitting in the dark. But it feels like then they, at some point, they just closed their eyes. Even though you were there with them, with the lights on, wanting them to see maybe their own wounds, maybe their own patterns. And you wanted them to see you too, I think. But it's almost a sense of like you sat there with them for a long time and they just stopped saying something and they just stopped looking. That's kind of the energy that I get from this. So I feel for a lot of you there's been a lot of pain in this situation too, a sense of maybe feeling rejected. But this person has been rejecting themselves. So, and like rejecting, like denying themselves compassion and gentleness because they think that's not for them. We have the Sun and we have the High Priestess in reverse. It's almost a bit like they don't know how to be at peace with themselves. They don't know how to tend to their inner child. I think they don't know that that's what's hurting, and that's why they feel so guarded. I think there are a lot of like gaps in their understanding of their own self. And I think you were offering them this understanding, this opportunity to almost study themselves, to look at themselves in the mirror, in the light. But they have been afraid of what they would see. But I think, again, even in your absence, like the memory of this remains, the memory of this connection, and its impact still continues, that this opportunity remains because you have already shown them who you are, your energy, and they remember. But what they do with that opportunity is still up to them. And maybe you're just checking in with them to see how they're doing. I think they are still impacted by your energy, but I think for a lot of you, it's a very difficult process for this person to know what to do with it, to know how to handle it, to feel like they are actually in control. Because I think one thing this person has been seeking from the very start is control. A lot of the themes we've talked about have to do with control, controlling other people's perspectives of them, controlling what they feel and what they allow their own self to see about themselves, controlling like how close people can get to them, controlling what they put out. It's always like there's a lot of repression and a lot of controlling. And I think you have shown them that there could be another way. But that is change. That is different from what they're used to, what they have made to be their comfort zone. And so I think that feels scary. Scary because it is different than what they have known, maybe their whole life. Is there anything else that wants to come through for my pile twos? We have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. I think this person inherently has felt like they were not worth what you were offering them. And I think they would not have said that directly, because that's not how they want to be perceived. But I think in them there was this assumption that they're not worth it, and you know it too, or you will find out one day. I think this person in some ways has felt like a victim to everyone else almost that has gotten close to them, or that has gotten close enough to influence them. So they feel like they've had to develop thick skin. But I think they've developed boundaries with their own self too, where they're also showing themselves this harsh, judgmental energy. They're not letting love in, and I think we have the Three of Swords too. They're not letting love in from themselves either. So they don't know how they could let it in from someone else because they don't expect it to come. I think this person is feeling a lot of pain. Also, like, about the way this situation played out too, because it's like an opportunity, a different reality that you were showing them was maybe possible, but it feels for a lot of you that maybe this is a situation in the past. So there is kind of this sense of loss, this sense of what was is no more. And that doesn't have to reflect an objective truth necessarily, but I think that's maybe how this person sees it. And I think this is where we will take it to the extended. I will see you in a little bit if you're meeting me there. If not, that is perfectly okay. I hope this reading was helpful, and I am sending you tons of love. Take care, and bye. Hello, my beautiful pile threes, and welcome to your reading. Today we are looking at the effect you have on the person on your mind in the main reading, and there will also be an extended reading which is going to be linked down below, and there will be a recap of that at the link below. But I will also quickly, I don't know why something is making noise. Every device I have is on silent at all times, basically. So anyway, that could be relevant. Or maybe you have recently been in contact with this person, or this could be someone you regularly talk to as well. But anyway, we'll talk about the extended reading later on, because this energy is already kind of coming on to me. So let's get into it. Starting off, we have the womb. We have the camel. I feel like putting that over here for some reason. Fear that the light will bring judgment. We have Cancer. Cancer season or energy could be significant, but it doesn't have to be. It's just for extra confirmation if you're looking for any. We have Envy. I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. Full moon, forgiveness. Second house, owning. This is Taurus energy. That could be significant. And we have self-worth. So, and let's put the tarot deck away for now. So I would say, even if you are in separation with this person, your energetic entanglement is far from over. I think your effect on this person has been very, very significant, very, very intertwined with their healing journey, probably also with yours in different ways. I think this will be a connection with a lot of undercurrents, with a lot of water under the bridge, and I think it has been a connection that has been triggering with challenges. Very intense connection, but very intensely triggering and challenging as well. I just glanced at the camera to see if everything was kind of aligned nicely, and I saw 222, so that could be a significant or a number that you've seen around recently. I also am noticing we have 26 and 27. You could be 26 and 27, but this to me is also about progression, like taking things one step at a time, but moving surely in any case. And I don't even know where to begin with this energy. I feel like there is so much coming through, so I hope I will be able to relay that without missing anything. But I think for a lot of you, you've either been like with this person in a relationship, or like there has been some understanding of exclusivity and commitment, or maybe not exclusivity necessarily, but a sense of commitment, whatever that may mean for you in your particular situation. And this person, they are someone who has maybe often been in a bit of a survival mode, because they have not really known what to do with themselves, what to do with their life. They have not felt at all times very connected with their own self, but maybe more connected to ideas of who they should be that they have likely picked up from other people, other sources, past experiences. And I think that has created some kind of dissonance in them, because who they actually are seems to have not matched what they think people expect of them, what they perceive people to expect of them. And I think this was something that appeared in this connection as well, a sense of, I can't be what you need, I can't be who you need, I'm not good enough. Even if they didn't say these words to you directly, I think this is someone who is very critical of their own self. I think you can be too. As a side note, I think both of you have maybe found it easier to be gentle with each other, but at times also harsh with each other because of the way you can be harsh with your own selves. And I'm not saying this to be judgmental at all. I think it is very human, and we spend so much time with our own selves that we may inherently come to judgments about our own selves that are not entirely true necessarily, because it's just the amount of exposure we have to our own selves. It's just so much more than other people. So we see every little detail, and that's okay. Like, it's okay in the sense that it's understandable, but I feel like it is not helped in this connection in terms of connecting with each other, even though I think you have allowed this person to have a safe space to be vulnerable. You have inspired this person to freely explore, especially in terms of their feelings, because this person, I think feelings are something they repress. Feelings are something that only comes out when they are triggered, when like it is absolutely necessary. It's something that they keep hidden away until something really calls for it or something really triggers them. So I think it would have been, and I think it's not that this person is unemotional. I think they run very deep. I think they are very emotional, very soft on the inside, but there is this guardedness coming through, this sense of they need to hide how they feel, either because they learned it's not okay to share their feelings, or because they're afraid of being judged for how they feel, because they feel they're not good enough. And I think maybe both of you have had moments where you've projected particular insecurities, particular fears onto each other. And that's not to say this connection has been easy, and that, or like, that's not to say like, oh, it's all just projection. I think it is possible that you have both triggered each other and maybe hurt each other in some way as well, but also forgiven each other. Like, there is a lot of, I feel like there's a lot of, I was going to say texture, but that's not the word I'm looking for. It's substance. I feel like there's a lot of substance to this connection, and one very significant effect you've had on this person is that you've opened up their mind. I think they are in some ways becoming more aligned with their intuition and understanding what it means, like what intuition means, what intuition is, what that feels like, how that comes to them. And they may not call it that, but beyond that, I think you have given this person a sense of security, a sense of acceptance, almost unconditionally, even if you are mad at them, even if you disagree with them, even if you don't always see eye to eye. I feel like you and this person have seen each other, so they feel seen by you, validated by you. It may not be that you fully understand each other, because I feel like you come from very different experiences. But I think there is a sense of learning that two truths, two subjective truths, can coexist within the same realm of possibilities. So it's a bit like agreeing to disagree type of energy, practicing that skill. Maybe that has been a theme in this connection as well. But this connection, I think, has run deeper for this person than anything else in their life, regardless of what you may think as well. Both of you may at times feel insecure, especially by the sheer intensity this connection seems to run in, because it's maybe challenging in the sense that it's always a lot of emotions. It's always a lot of information coming through at once through this connection, and that can be difficult to sift through. And I do think this connection really runs quite deep. And when you dive deep, sometimes you see things you didn't expect to see, and sometimes you see things you may not want to see. And I think that has maybe been a theme about this connection, a lot of realizations, a lot of being mirrors to each other. I don't think it's just that you are a mirror to this person. I think they are also a mirror to you. And I think sometimes that has maybe felt uncomfortable in this situation. Maybe it has made you doubt this situation. I do feel for a lot of you, you may have like gone through a separation before. You may currently be in separation. But I do feel there have been like ups and downs here, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of layers to this connection, a lot of different chapters. I think one important perspective you've added on to this person's life is that things can be magical. Things can be beyond just their basic sense of perception. And it doesn't have to be so clear cut in terms of like, they can make mistakes and still be worthy of love. I feel like these are some of the things that this person has been learning through you and this connection. And I feel a lot of these energies are going to be mirrored. So if this sounds like you in this particular case, this is probably because you and this person are mirroring each other immensely right now. And you may actually be at a point where like it's time to make a decision. It's time to take some action with this fear that the light will bring judgment. Like something in this situation maybe needs to change. With this full moon energy coming out as well, like something is coming to an end. This chapter you are in maybe, or there's just a sense that the balance needs to shift in some sense. Or maybe if this is a separation energy and you are in separation with this person, it could be that something had to change, and the way to bring that in maybe was to separate or focus on yourselves or be independent for some time. And you could still be focusing on your own selves while being in a connection. So I don't want to put any limits as to like what the exact situation here may be, but the common denominator is going to be that this is someone that you feel deeply connected to that has also impacted you a lot on your own healing journey. Someone that you will feel potentially wronged by, but through this connection, it seems like both of you have been practicing forgiveness and acceptance. But that doesn't mean like forgiving every single thing, even if you feel you can't in yourself find it to forgive something. I feel like there are certain I feel like this is being done in a healthy way where it doesn't break your boundaries. I feel like both people here are trying to take responsibility for how they may have acted, especially on this person's end, because we are focusing more on their energy right now. I feel like at times they can become afraid of just doing the wrong thing. Like they put a lot of importance to doing the right thing. I think they can maybe be a bit reckless at times because this connection has... I think they can be reckless at times when they are triggered. And this is not to necessarily name that as like the appropriate way to be, but it can also be understood, I feel, in the light that this connection has introduced a lot of unknown territory for both of you, both about your own selves and both about how you experience relationships, and also about spirituality. Like there is a lot going on here. So I feel like maybe at times you have both dealt with it in less than ideal ways, but I think you have both been warming up to the idea that you don't have to be perfect, and this connection does not have to be perfect. It just needs to work for you, for whatever your expectations and your limits are. And that's what matters. Like, it is personal. It is not up for some general post on social media, like some popular psychology post to tell you what this is. It's not for someone else to tell you what it is that you need to do in this connection. You can ask for opinions, and it's also fine, like whether this is through the tarot or asking your friends or whatever, but with the knowledge that everyone like also comes in with their own set of beliefs, and maybe the most important ones to consider are your own and what you expect of a relationship. But the reason I think I'm bringing this up is with this energy and with the number 5, for some of you, there may have been like other people involved in this situation, not necessarily a third party, but just other noise, which can be anxiety and fear as well, like past situations that still influence you and influence this person. It can be family, it can be friends, it can be just what you consume on social media. But I think what has been integral that this person has also learned and has been learning is to trust their own judgment. Not the harsh, critical judgments of themselves that may come out of nowhere, but what they feel in their heart to be true about this connection. Like with this Cancer energy, I think both of you are very deeply emotional people, very nurturing. Like it's an energy of both of you wanting to take care of the other. I think you have taken care of this person. I think they feel closer to you than they have felt to maybe anyone besides themselves, but I feel like that is why you have seen them so deeply and so much of them and parts of themselves that maybe they would rather try to hide. Because it has come out, because you have given them that space to be vulnerable, to be authentic. I think there is a lot of lessons here that this person has been learning through this connection, about connecting, about commitment, about sacrifice for some of you. I want to get into the tarot, and I will quickly talk about what we're looking at in the extended while I am kind of getting ready for that. Sometimes when the energies are quite intense, I feel like I need to wind down for a second before getting into the next chapter of it. Maybe that is what you're going through with this person right now, what I just described. But in the extended, we will get tons of channeled messages from this person. We will... No, we're getting into the tarot now. Okay. And I think this, I've also talked about the extended at a different time point in every reading that I've done today. Because if I don't kind of do it when it pops up in my mind, I tend to forget. So it's kind of, yeah. But maybe for some of you, this has been like the time hasn't felt right for something, or it was like the right thing, wrong, right person, wrong time type of energy, maybe. Something along those lines, something about like just facing a lot of challenges within this connection. I feel like this definitely has not been easy. How are my piles? Okay, the Hanged One, which is Pisces energy coming through, and I saw this so many times while shuffling already. And we have the Five of Swords in reverse. We have the Knight of Wands. You have changed this person's perspective about what it means to truly connect with someone, what a relationship truly can be, what a deep, genuine connection really feels like. Because maybe they have been someone who has kind of sought after more surface level type of connections in the past. Easier connections, more focused on like fun or having a good time. And it's not that I don't think you, like, I think you've also had a companionship with this person and you've had fun too. Like, it's not just that everything has been serious and extremely emotional at all times, but I feel like there's also that aspect to your connection where it has been emotionally challenging and complicated. Like, you've both had to be very vulnerable. And although I think this person has found that difficult at times and triggering at times, it has, in a way, I feel it has been a blessing too. We have the Ten of Wands in reverse. I think you've shown them that they don't have to be so hard on themselves. It's almost like you understand their emotions better than they do sometimes. When you feel really in tune with your intuition, especially. What is the effect pile 3 has on this person that is coming through? We have the King of Swords. We have the Alchemist, which is the Temperance card in this tarot deck. So Sagittarius energy or season could be significant, but this particular appearance of Sagittarius energy, it makes me think of a very spiritual connection. Like you have maybe awakened them to their spirituality to some extent, maybe completely. Feels like this is something they're still maybe warming up to or considering. But there is something that feels very divinely orchestrated about this connection, divinely timed. There may have been something that felt like fate when you met this person. Something that feels very meant to be about the connection, even though I don't like using that phrase necessarily. We have Strength in reverse. We have the Wanderer, which is the Fool in this deck. Aries energy or season could be significant. If you're watching this at the time I'm filming it, Aries season is almost upon us. We have the Eight of Wands. I think you've made this person a better communicator, better at expressing their feelings, better at expressing themselves, better at expressing what is going on within them, better at connecting. There's something inspirational, energizing, motivating about this connection to this person. It's a very wonderful energy. Feels like you've really stuck by this person's side. Even when they didn't have hope for themselves, even when they don't believe in themselves. I think there have been very valuable exchanges here about self-love, self-worth. Even when things didn't work out for themselves, you may have seen them go through like some trials in their career, especially like, or their career path. There's a lot of Pentacles energy coming out in the reverse as I'm shuffling, that like they kind of show themselves and then kind of dive back in or flip back into the deck. So I feel like they have felt your presence through the trials that they have been going through. And it doesn't need to have been a perfect streak. But I think they know that you have stuck by them. You have been there for them when they needed you the most, when they couldn't bring themselves to ask for help or for someone to be there for them. It's like you knew. I feel like they feel quite understood and quite seen in that sense, that sometimes you may explain their emotions better than they can without really having to try. They feel very encouraged by you. And I think there's also a lot of like magnetic type of attraction here, maybe a bit of a psychic type of connection, like where it may feel like you're reading each other's minds, or lots of signs and synchronicities. You have definitely opened up this person's mind and opened up their heart. Can we clarify the King of Swords, please? How is pile 3 affecting the person on their mind? Ooh. Yeah, see, I was telling you, lots of Pentacles cards showing up in the reverse. 10 of Pentacles in reverse this time, but we also had the 9, the 8, the 7. Not in that order. I think you've made this person feel brave enough. Like, I think you give them courage to challenge themselves, to challenge their sense of reality, to challenge a set of rules that they may have lived by, a set of responsibilities that they had taken on that they didn't actually want to. I think you have encouraged them in setting boundaries with what is not, making them feel nourished, because now they've had an example of what that can be like when they are nourished, when they are loved and cared for. And this doesn't have to refer to other connections. I don't think this refers to other connections, if I'm being honest. I think it maybe has to do with family, or just the idea of like a path that they had planned out for them, but it feels like maybe it wasn't exactly what they wanted, but it was them sticking to some set of rules, some set of requirements, some set of belief. Is there anything else that wants to come through? We have the Star in reverse coming out again. I think this person has not always had a very easy time figuring out where to go, what to do. I think they can get really in their head sometimes, especially about their future. Maybe this is a time where the future is shifting and changing. And again, they may be afraid of doing the wrong thing. Is there anything else that wants to come through? We have Judgment. It's interesting because we had that Oracle card. Fear that the light will bring judgment. And I feel like now this person is not so afraid of the light anymore. Even when the light shows them parts of themselves that they may have not necessarily wanted to see, or that they may not feel the best about. Even if the light may show them like where their wounds are. And that can feel scary. But I think this person is learning to perceive that as not a bad thing, but an opportunity for confrontation, confronting what has been holding them back, what is holding them back. And that they don't always have to hide. Not with you. Even if they may still fall into that pattern at times, or even if they may still have fears or doubts or anxieties, I think this understanding is still there somewhere within. And I think on this note, this is where we will take it to the extended, which I will talk about. Now I've like brought it up so many times in your particular reading that I remember for sure that I should mention that real quick. So in the extended, we will get tons of channeled messages from this person. We will look at what they want truly from this connection, and we will then compare that to what they will actually do and what step they will actually take towards you or within this connection. And we will also try to get a time frame for this and see what comes through. There are no promises on the time frame. We will also get a message for you from your higher self / spirit / the universe, whatever it is you feel resonates with you more. And yeah, if you are meeting me there, I will see you there in a little bit. If not, that is perfectly okay, and I hope this reading was helpful. I am sending you tons of love. Take care, and bye.